Yo, what is going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week number 2 of the PMC. We are taking on El Scizor, aka Lars, coach of the Borussia Donphans. You guys see the teams on the screen. You also see the TCGR on the sides. This is a tricky matchup for me this week, as he has a Dragonite. Dragonite runs through my team decently well. I do have to have some stuff weakened for Dragonite to run through me. You guys saw the team builder. You guys know what we're bringing. So we're going to hop right into the battle here. So I know I need to lead Mamoswine, and Mamoswine is for me to get my rocks up so that I can deal with the Dragonite. If I can get rocks up, weaken the Dragonite, I know I'm good to go. So Mamoswine is my lead. He is actually going to counter lead me and lead with the Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat actually does a lot of work versus my team as well, so it was good for him to lead with that. So I figure, you know what, I'm going to get my rocks up. If he tries to Volt Switch on me, I'm okay. I'm not worried about it. Instead, Lars is going to go right away for the turn 1 foul play. So right away there, I see that he's prepared for my physical threats. It's going to do an okay amount of damage to my Mamoswine. But at this point, I know there's no reason for me to switch, stay in, so I can go out into my Armaldo. Now, this section here of the battle, I was not focused at all. I was busy doing other things, so I was not able to actually focus in as much as I wanted to. Lars is going to stay in and go for the Volt Switch. I'll be honest, I actually didn't know what this section of turns was until I actually saw what had happened. He's going to go out to Jimmy Neutron, the Mew, and he is going to take a Stone Edge, or he's going to take a knockoff. I managed to click knockoff, and right away the Mew's leftovers are now gone. The Mew has less reliable recovery outside of Roost. He's going to go for the Earthquake here, and Armaldo will be able to take it like a champion. Going to be able to take the hit, and from here, I wasn't able to return to my DS in time to click X Scissor. I ended up clicking Stone Edge, missed the Stone Edge, and Mew still manages to live at this point. Now I'm able to actually focus in. I fire off an X Scissor. It's going to do a good amount of damage to the Mew. So I figure, you know what, we're in a good spot here. His Mew's just going to go for the Earthquake and knock it out. Now, had I been focused and actually paying attention to the battle, Mew would have been knocked out by the X Scissor instead of me clicking Stone Edge. And Armaldo would have some HP, not a lot though. This does give me a free chance to go into my Ribombee. And I could have set up a Quiver Dance right here. And the reason I didn't do it was I was worried that he might go into like Rotom or something. But instead he goes out to the Nidoqueen, which I show off Bug Buzz. And it was mostly, I didn't want the Mew to recover. Granted, I should have just stayed in, Quiver Danced, and at this point now I would be at +1 special attack, +1 special defense. Which is what I do right here in front of the Nidoqueen. Probably anticipating him to get his Stealth Rocks up, so just Quiver Dance against it because I do have the Psychium Z. Yeah, Psychium Z. He's going to show off the Fire Punch, which is going to severely weaken my Ribombee. So right away, physical Nidoqueen against my team. And he's going to make a very good play here. He's going to scout for the Psychic Z move, and he's going to sack off his Mew at this point. He's going to take Stealth Rock damage and cannot take a +1 Shattered Scythe. So unfortunate on my end, very good on Lars's end that he read through what my plan was to set up on the Nidoqueen. Again, it was just poor execution early on by me. That's all I can say is I really... I played the early part of this game really poorly. So I knew I was in a little bit of trouble that, you know what, Ribombee does a lot of damage versus his team. I let that get weakened. So in comes Nips the Nidoqueen again. So I figure at this point, it's just best to get as much damage off as I possibly can. I go for the Psychic. +1 Psychic. It's going to do a lot. It's not going to pick up a KO, but it will do a lot of damage to his Nidoqueen as he's going to reveal the Thunder Punch. So down goes the Ribombee. So wasn't really sure what his Nidoqueen was. He showed Black Sludge, but he's also shown Fire Punch and Thunder Punch. So physical Nidoqueen coming in, which does allow me to get into my Mega Charizard X, get my free Mega Evolution here, and I figure he's probably not going to keep Nidoqueen alive. I have no reason not to click Flare Blitz here just to pick up a kill. If he goes into Miltank, it's okay. I have Will-O-Wisp. I have some switch-ins to Miltank, so I'm not too worried about the cow at this moment. So I just Flare Blitz, down goes the Nidoqueen. So we're sitting here in a decent spot. I've gotten rid of his Mew, I've gotten rid of his Nidoqueen, so that's some of his bulk out of the way. The remainder of his bulk is the Rotom Heat and the Miltank. Miltank, however, I have this perfect switch in being Celesteela. He can have Fire Punch, he can have Thunder Punch for the Celesteela. I'm not too worried. I have enough defensive investments to be 3-hit KO'd by the Miltank. So he's going to fire off Body Slam. Body Slam's okay. I resist it. The issue is if he does get a Paralysis. Now, with Celesteela, we are that protects Leech Seed, Metal Sound, Air Slash. So I have the ability here to just fire off a free Leech Seed. Now, Miltank could potentially be Sap Sipper, which is a little bit of an issue. So if he was Sap Sipper Miltank, Celesteela can't do much, Leech Seed wise. But with Rotom coming in, I can fire off a Leech Seed. He's going to take Stealth Rock damage here. So now I can wear down the Rotom. Now his only reliable recovery with Rotom is Pain Split, which, you know what, fine, that's okay, I can live with that. And now with my Charizard Mega Evolved, Overheat doesn't do much, Volt Switch doesn't do much, so I think I'm good to go against the Rotom Heat now. I just go for the Protect here. One, gain a little bit HP back from the Leech Seed, and to weaken the Rotom even more, as it's going to bring him below 50%, or right at 50%. And now Stealth Rocks plus Leech Seed really just put this Rotom into a position to where it can no longer switch into my Charizard, can no longer switch into my Lucario, and it's what I needed to do. So he's going to go for the Foul Play here on the switch. It's okay. Again, we're a bulky Charizard. We're not max attack either, so it didn't do as much as he probably was anticipating against my Charizard. And this does allow me to get off a free Will-O-Wisp here. The cow is the switch in 100% of the time. So one, if I can Will-O-Wisp it, it can no longer do serious damage to a lot of my team. So even if he did have either Rock Slide or Earthquake, it's now not being able to KO my Charizard. I have Roost, so I can pretty much just wear down this Miltank. Now, he might be potentially Rocky Helmet, which is a little bit of concern to wear down my Charizard, but again, I have a Celesteela, and with a Burn Miltank, it can't really do much against my Celesteela anymore, even if he does have the coverage moves. So he's going to fire off a Thunder Wave, probably to slow my Charizard down, and against my Celesteela, it's fine. I'm base 61 speed. I have 56 speed investment into my Celesteela, I believe. Actually, probably even none. So I'm not too worried about my Celesteela being paralyzed because, one, I could fire off Leech Seed here. He's going to go out to Bird Jesus or Jesus. The Mega Pidgeot, he's going to take Stealth Rock damage here. And I figured this is probably his Defogger, because Rotom would have already gone for the Defog at this point. He's going to need to remove the Stealth Rocks for his Dragonite to do anything to my team. Otherwise, Mamoswine comes in with a very easy Ice Shard. Lucario now can severely damage it with the E-Speed. So I figure, you know what, this is probably his Defogger at this point. So I'm just going to fire off a Air Slash against this thing because I have no reason not to. I can take one Heat Wave, and then I get leftovers plus the Leech Seed, so I can take a second Heat Wave as well. And it works to weaken the Pidgeot to where 2 to 3 turns of Leech Seed recovery can now severely cripple it, and I'm not too worried about the Pidgeot anymore. So here, I figure he might Roost, so I go for Metal Sound here, just anticipating him to Roost. That way Air Slash can possibly pick up a KO. Instead, he goes for the second Heat Wave, and this is one of the important turns of the battle here, as Celesteela is going to get leftovers. He's going to get the Leech Seed off the Pidgeot. I go for Protect, one, to keep my Celesteela alive, and then it turns out it works out in keeping the Stealth Rocks on his side of the field as I just click Protect. So now the Defog can no longer remove the rocks on his side of the field. His Pidgeot's now going to die to the Leech Seed. I'm going to get the leftovers recovery, so Celesteela's in a decent health position to allow his Dragonite to come in, and I'm no longer worried about Dragonite at this point. He can set up Dragon Dances, but his multi-scale is now broken, which means Ice Shard Mamoswine's going to do a good amount of damage. He has no rocks on my side of the field, so Mamoswine's not taking Stealth Rock damage. So he's going to go for the Dragon Dance. which is fine. I stay in Leech Seed because I just need to start chipping away at this Dragonite. So it could have been with Air Slash. Leech Seed's the way that helps me in the longer run when I can just hard switch into something, because Extreme Speed doesn't do much to Lucario. So now I'm getting Leech Seed from the Dragonite, I'm getting leftovers. This next turn, I go for an Air Slash. I really think he was trying to expect me to scout for potential Z-move or Fire Punch. So he's going to set up a second Dragon Dance, probably predicting me to protect this turn. Instead, I am able to actually not get paralyzed, hit the Air Slash, and now weaken the Dragonite to where he's not going to have enough turns to kill all my Pokemon before the Leech Seed ends up knocking him out. Celesteela, on the other hand, has enough bulk to take Fire Punch. I do have the Protect, so I can make sure that my Celesteela is somewhat healthy to take a +2 Fire Punch. Unfortunately, I did not get the boost from the Pidgeot when it died. And then finally here, I figure that, hey, I have no reason not to click Protect again this next turn. If I can get a double Protect, Dragonite's gone. All he's left with is a Rotom and a Miltank against my Lucario, Dragonite, Mamoswine. So I go for a second Protect and actually able to get it, and the Dragonite now falls, giving us a pretty good advantage now as he no longer has an offensive presence to an extent. I mean, Rotom still has a good matchup. It has the Foul Play for my Charizard, Pain Split, Overheat for the Celesteela, Lucario, so I'm still not in the clear 100%, but again, I'm still in a very good position at this point. Rotom comes in, and I'm firing off a Leech Seed again. Again, there's just no reason for me not to. It's just a way for my Celesteela to gain recovery. Now, I had a couple options here. I could just hard switch right into my Charizard, which is a good option because all he can do is Foul Play, and I can just roost off that damage to where I'm wasting his Pain Splits, and I'm getting good chip damage on the Rotom. Or I can sack off my Celesteela with Protect stalling a little bit, just wasting the Rotom's attacks that he has, and then gaining also recovery, putting it in range of something like a Lucario to clean up at the end of the game. So with the leftovers and the Leech Seed, I'm about max HP, just under max HP, which at this point, I don't want to waste anything. I'm just going to sack off my Celesteela because I don't want him Pain Splitting anymore. And Celesteela did its job. It got rid of Pidgeot, prevented the defog, killed the Dragonite with the Leech Seed. Celesteela did what it had to do. Lucario is going to come in, and at this point, his Rotom is well in range of dying to a close combat from the Lucario. And Miltank is all that is left, and we're going to pick up a 3-0 win here in Week 2 of the PMC in a very grinding match. I had to really recover from my poor play, I mean just abysmal play early on in the game. And thanks to Celesteela and its bulkiness plus just annoyingness of Leech Seed and Protect, set it up to where Lucario can finally clean up, and now we advance to 2-0 in the league so far. Very good start. Normally I'm horrid in the early weeks of the league, but it was a good game to Lars. Next week we will be taking on the Trenton Thundurus, so that will be up next Sunday. If you guys enjoyed this Week 2 PMC battle, go ahead, like the video, comment your guys' support, subscribe to the channel, join the personal Discord server if you guys have not already done so. You guys can win prizes and such. Go check out Lars' channel as well. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.